What do you want to confess that no one else in your real life knows? If you ever need help, then please know that there are many qualified people who would like to help you. https://www.iasp.info/resources/crisis_centers. http://www.befrienders.org/ http://www.suicidepreventionlifeline.org/get help, lifeline-chat.asks, http://www.samaritans.org/how we can help you, UK, https://www.lifeline.org.au/get help/. Oh, there are crisis services worldwide that are trained to provide support. They are designed to give temporary relief from feelings that are overwhelming you, and while they are unlikely to fix any underlying problems, can help you get through a tough hour/night/week. Chat services are usually available on these sites. In the US, calling 211 or going to their website is a free referral source. They have providers who will see you regardless of your ability to pay. Just as you would see a doctor when you are sick, you deserve to take care of your mental health. I read this and saw so many messages replying, "It's been X years since my mother passed." I couldn't even remember the specific date my mother passed, let alone the number of years. After finding her death certificate, it's coming up on 5 years. Nothing has been the same these past 5 years. I was recovering from depersonalization right before she passed, and then when she passed it got very bad again very quickly. I'm still not sure if I've recovered or if I've just gotten used to it. I've graduated since then, worked a full-time job, met a girl and moved across the country. I've truly been living life actively, but it all feels fake, feels like a weird fucking dream. I fucking miss my mom. How the fuck can this life be real without her? Wow, I'm only 18 and I lost my mother early this March, but I feel like I'm in a position that's similar. I'm currently in school, and there's not a day that goes by that I wish I could have my mom go to my graduation, drop me off at college, celebrate my birthday, etc. I miss her so fucking much. I don't know how I'm going to figure out life. Her skeptical. Hey man, I lost my old man when I was 19. I am 37 now, and I often think about him. What scares me the most is forgetting him and the memories, but they stay with you. They emerge at random and have always left me feeling grateful. It was very hard when I had my own sons, and when the questions were asked, but it does get easier with time. Make sure you fill the gap in your life with healthy pursuits. And always try and remember to ask yourself what she would want for you. I hope you know she would want you to do well in your life and see success in all your pursuits. She will always be behind you. I'm seriously sorry for your loss. I love both my parents, but my mom and I really have a strong bond. The mere thought of losing makes me tear up. Maybe try to find comfort in knowing how proud she would be of your accomplishments. It might encourage you to focus on the task at hand while still keeping her memory alive. I lost my papa last April. He was like a father to me and was my absolute best friend. Today, cleaning out my pantry, I found 6 boxes of banana-flavored instant pudding. He loved his banana pudding and I always kept some at home just for him. Seeing those boxes today brought me to tears. I guess my whole point is, I can relate. My dad did the same thing when he had cancer. My family and I got to say our goodbyes, and then the nurse started the procedure to end his life. That day was a good day for everyone. My dad's suffering ended and nobody had to worry about him anymore. I could ramble for days about this, But to make a long story short, I wish my dad would have ended his life much sooner. He was in so much pain for months, all while knowing that death was the only way out. I agree, and I've definitely fallen victim to not setting up boundaries and then keeping it that way because it's harder to set up now than it used to be. One thing that's helped me a lot though is changing my mindset from well, it's harder now than it was before to it'll be easier now than it will be down the road. Also, the quote, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now, has been incredibly helpful for me. It's still a bitch to work on, but these relationships are much more worth it now than they used to be when I didn't have any boundaries. I went from living with mom because I couldn't manage to live alone, to the opposite. She literally asked me the same question 7 times in 2 minutes tonight. I'm 38. Not a kid anymore, and I love her so much, but I'm so tired of handling my life and hers. May she live forever, but I would love to be responsible for just myself for a while. I'm gonna be honest, I know it might help some people, but I've always hated how popular it is to track recovery like this, counting up from the last time you drank, or indulged in any other addiction or harmful habit. It makes it seem like the second you slip up, all your progress is erased. Suddenly you're not 2 years sober anymore, you're 2 days sober, right back where you were 2 years ago. And I hate that because that's just not how it works. Recovery is almost never perfectly linear. There's bumps in the road and setbacks and relapses, and none of those erase the progress you did make. You still have years of experience under your belt, with techniques and practice and other ways of dealing with it that you didn't have before. Everybody fucks up sometimes. One relapse is minor compared to years of effort to make yourself better. So I'd tell you to try again, but I think trying again isn't what you're doing. You're just picking up where you left off and continuing the effort you already spent so long practicing, and when you're ready to pick it back up you'll be much better equipped for it thanks to all the work you did. You are not the same person you were back then. Past you may believe you wouldn't be able to stop, but present you is better and stronger, equipped with more knowledge and new perspectives. You 2.0. You are not defined by your drinking and you are in control of your life every day. I know words can only do so much, but I hope you look back on this random encounter fondly and remember a time you were rallied to making a change, reminded that the world isn't such a bad place and every once in a while a kind person can believe in you enough. Take care, friend. I hope you find what you need to change the world. I believe in you always. In my group of friends consisting of couples in deep relationships, I'm the only single guy. In fact, I don't think I've been in a committed relationship for more than 2 weeks. The idea of being part of a couple has always sounded exhausting, and it was something I never really worried about rushing into. I didn't truly realize how lonely I've been until one night playing beer pong, when I was on the same team with one of the ladies, who was a little tipsy. She hugged me after I won the game for us. It didn't occur to me that since leaving home for college, those types of physical gestures that brought me comfort as a kid weren't always there for me anymore as an adult. Doctor, all I want is to be hugged. I went out with this girl I met from college. We decided on a mini golfing place. When we got out of my car at the place, she says, "Wait, you're supposed to hug me." I didn't hug her at first because I was running late to her house and we had a booking. COVID. When we started hugging, I didn't want that hug to end. She hugged me so tightly and for so long that I nearly melted and had a breakdown in her arms. It's been a long time since I've received a hug and felt so comfortable yet vulnerable. Sure, I hug the boys when we say bye, but it's far from being the same. That hug made me realize how incredibly lonely I really am. I've been starved of physical and emotional affection for far too long. I've been craving and so to start my life with, to be romantic and goofy with, and to spoil with hugs, love and affection. I almost want to tell her how that hug made me feel, but I'm afraid of a couple things and don't want to weird her out. I'm just hoping that she likes me. Fucking same dude. I dated a girl briefly. First relationship lasted 2 or 3 weeks, and when she touched me, even just on the arm or chest or back, my heart would race. She listened to it and said I was touch-starved. It was true. Physical affection is so important. When she left me I was still touch-starved, but now I know I need that. Now it's been a few months, and it's really hard not to ever feel someone's touch. Now if someone touches me at all, it still sends shivers through me, and it's so intense that I don't make much contact. My wife cheated on me a few months back. She claims it was just one kiss and dirty texts, but who really knows the extent of her infidelity besides him and her? I was beyond stupid and ignored all warning signs. I have told no one, and it happened about 4 months ago. We are buying a house and have 2 kids. I initially forgave her and we worked on things. However, she and her sister are going on a cruise in November and I don't trust her at all. FML. As a dad who is actively divorcing now, I strongly suggest you talk with her about it and voice your opinions and concerns in a calm fashion. Hopefully this will get some real response out of her and get you answers to questions you have. I wish I had done that almost 2 years ago now. I was down and anxious and depressed, but even though it is still ongoing, I am very happy now. I have moved on and am dating again. Found someone who makes me happy. Make sure you focus on your happiness too, along with your kids. I realized something when I passed my expiration dates, so to speak. You don't have to be anything. You're allowed to be a mote of dust and just enjoy floating in a sunbeam. Making something of yourself is exhausting. It's effort. It's even more effort than you're imagining it is. Being somebody is not for everybody. If your immediate needs are met, you're doing fine. Fuck around and have fun. If not now, then when? If your immediate needs are not met, it's okay to put in just enough effort to ensure they are, and then stop. And you're not lazy for living this way. And if you were lazy for living this way, does that even matter? I don't know if this will make you feel better or worse, but you definitely aren't alone in this situation. Neither are you alone in general. I flunked out of a college program because I was too depressed to go to classes. I also tried a couple times to take my own life before and or after this. Sorry, I can't remember the chronological order. The worst part was having my stepmom coming into my room and asking me why I'm not in class as I was laying in bed staring at the wall. After like 15 seconds of silence, just hear my door shut. I told everyone that I didn't like the program anymore, so I dropped out, and that was that. No one knows the truth but you kind strangers. I did a 2-hour online test for college and we had to stay on camera for the whole 2 hours until everyone was done. The problem was I shit myself half an hour into the test and sat in my own shit, not allowed to move, and if I did move everyone would see I shit myself. So I waited until everyone was done and got marks done and could turn off the cameras. I got 100% in the test. Amen. I took the good, lucid moments to apply to everything, and then when I got one Irish goodbye right out of the city I'd been living in for 7 years, barely talked to anyone in that crowd again, think it saved my life. Sometimes when you feel trapped, gotta just gnaw your arm off, was my thinking. It could be bad somewhere else, but it also could be different, or maybe a bit better. I'm unhappy in my marriage, but still love my wife. I think if we met today we wouldn't even date, much less be married, but the thought of leaving her for my own happiness makes me sick to my stomach. She constantly says how happy I make her, how much she loves me, that she couldn't live without me, and I love her back. We are just so different. We got married young because God was guiding us to do so. Our responsible adult figures told us it was smarter to wait, but we, and our pastor, knew better. We did a bunch of premarital counseling, so we actually have a very solid base for our marriage. We have just changed in political views, personal views, leisure activities, movie interests, religious beliefs, unbeknownst to her on that one, and just about everything else. There's very little common ground anymore. I can say we both enjoy watching anime together and listening to audiobooks of her choosing as we fall asleep. I've tried to recommend some and a few podcasts, but they didn't work for her. We haven't had sex in months, and she recently discovered she's aromantic and is fine with basically never having sex. I'm not like that at all. She doesn't work at the moment and we are in financial stress because of it, but I still want her to be able to spend money on herself because it helps with her depression. Legitimately helps. She's spending money on hobby supplies which give her a sense of accomplishment. Despite me working 50+ hour weeks, I still do a majority of the cooking and cleaning due to her mental health, but I still love her dearly. I'm just unhappy. I care for her. I want to be with her. I'm just not happy. I feel like I put in more effort than she does, but she is so appreciative and I know it isn't malicious on her part. I just enable the behavior. She's seeing a therapist, newly because of finances, but I don't think I can afford one for myself or couples therapy. If you made it to the end, thanks for reading my ramblings. You desperately need to be honest with her. Being honest with yourself here is a fantastic first step. I was in nearly the same exact set of circumstances, and I didn't feel there was any way out without hurting the people I loved most. So I stayed with it until I broke. The pain I caused by breaking was infinitely worse than I would have caused by being honest. Changing over time is inevitable. You've done nothing wrong. But not being honest to spare someone is usually just being afraid of their response. I'm so sorry. My dad also committed suicide and my close family knows what happened, but I tell pretty much everyone else it was a car accident. I've told this lie so many times that sometimes I even forget what really happened. I work at a mortuary now, and the suicides always pull extra hard at my heartstrings. I tell those families the truth about my dad. I thought I was the only one who had this nightmare. It only happens occasionally for me, but it's always the same. Basically, I'm well into the semester, attending my classes like normal, then suddenly I remember that there's one more class I completely forgot about. I finally show up to that class. I don't know anything. I haven't done any assignments. I don't even know the professor's name, and today is test day. I'm disturbed by how difficult it is to feel passion or motivation about anything in my present life. I've gone through years of higher education, internships, freelance work, and portfolio work and revisions, and I feel absolutely nothing for any of it, which disturbs me greatly. But I keep on the everything's great and I'd love to lick your corporate boots face on because it's what is expected of me and anyone else looking for work. This also extends to my hobbies, dramatic air quotes, because honestly, I don't even love what I used to love or think I love anymore, and that also disturbs me an incredible amount. Doctor. I don't remember the last time I felt any passion or motivation for anything in life, and that disturbs me a lot. The only person that knows that I was bound to a bed for 3 days, beaten, raped, and waterboarded with piss has been dead for 10 years as of last Monday. That person was my father. He walked into the house coming home early from a trip he went on. He had delegated my then stepsister, whom was 15, to babysit me. Her mother was gone on a separate trip in the next town over. I was 5. My father called his ex-wife home that night, and proceeded to beat the shit out of her while her daughter watched. Thanks man. These past 2 weeks have been absolutely the worst 2 weeks of my life. The thoughts, the fear, The paranoia have been overbearing. That isn't even the worst part of my life either. I quit alcohol successfully for 2 months, dipping for 7 months as of today, actively decided to relapse on both today. I broke up with the love of my life yesterday because I knew the torturous landscape that is my brain would eventually hurt her, and that terrifies me more than anything.